Welcome back to Survival on Purpose. My name's Brian. Thanks for joining me. Today's video, actually almost tonight's video, this is going to be about the brand new Gerber Strongarm. And this is the third video in the Gauntlet series on this knife. The first one was from Aaron at Gideons Tactical. The second one from Chris at Prepared Mind 101. I'll put the links to their videos below. Be sure and check them out. If you're not familiar with what the Gauntlet is, it's a series of YouTube channels that we kind of pass one piece of gear around at a time and let everybody have a crack at it, and you can take a look and get everybody's take on it and see how well it holds up. But I did want to show, I'm actually going to do a quick comparison between this and the Gerber Prodigy because they're very similar knives. This is like maybe an upgrade to the Prodigy. I would consider it that. A couple of differences though, but it's getting dark here, so I will go ahead and get on with it. Okay, so here we have a side-by-side comparison of the Gerber Strongarm versus the Gerber Prodigy. Now the Strongarm is the one on bottom and the Prodigy is on top. Strongarm has a 4.8 inch blade and an overall length of 9.8 inches and a weight of 7.2 ounces. The blade material is 420 HC stainless steel. The Prodigy has a 9.75 inch overall length and a 4.75 inch blade. And the knife weight is 7.2 ounces. So the weight's exactly the same. So as you can see, they are pretty much the same specs as far as length and weight. There are a couple of differences though. First of all, I guess obviously the Strongarm is available in a fine edge version and not the serrated, where the Prodigy, to my knowledge, is only available in serrated. The other main difference that I can see on the knives is the handle shape. This handle is a little bigger and beefier than this one. A little different, that has a little bit of a swell on it there, whereas this one has a little, about the same. It's got definitely a different, grippier, tackier handle. You can see the difference here up close. This one's got kind of traction knobs on it, and this is a little smoother. The different retention system here. And then the tail is just a little bit different. You can see that this one has the exposed tang kind of off-center. This one's more centered. You can see they're both made right here in Portland, Oregon. So they're both made in the USA. They both have the same steel. So again, the main difference is in the handles and in the sheaths. Let's take a look at the sheaths. Okay, so here are the sheaths. This again is the Prodigy, and this is the Strongarm. And you'll notice the Prodigy sheath is a lot bulkier, I guess. But to cut down to the chase, part of that's because I've got the leg strap, which is attaches to the back of the molly here. So we've got some molly attachments here and here on the Prodigy sheath, and then it actually is bolted on here, so you could take it off, but we'll call it semi-permanent attachment. The nylon sheath is. You could definitely take it off if you needed to, and it will come off of here, but you have to unscrew it actually to do that, unbolt it. So that is the but it's got a dangle or a molly or a leg sheath, and then the knife actually just kind of locks in like a friction there, and it's got two snap straps here. So that's the sheath for the Prodigy. Okay, for the Strongarm, the sheath is a little different. Obviously it's not as bulky. You got the dangler option here, and it's got this reinforced backing in here to give you a really solid connection there. It's not just a little strap, so it rides pretty well. And then if you don't want to use that, you can actually take the whole system here off. And another thing I want to show you, by the way, this has got a really nice thumb push on the sheath itself, whereas the Prodigy doesn't have that. I mean, you can do it, but you kind of do it up here. But it's got a nice thumb push here on both sides, so if you're left or right-handed. The sheath is ambidextrous, so you can put it in either way you want to go. So that's a cool feature. When you pull this out, if you want to decide you want to carry scout style, you just unsnap it here, take this off. Got a little clip here that holds this on. If you just pull this, squeeze these together here, if you can get your fingers in there, you can see that, and it'll squeeze those together and pull this out. Pull it all the way out, like so. Clip just comes off. If you don't want to carry it scout style, you just leave this off. But if you do, you put it on, it's real easy. Just put these on where that lines up like that. Put the little clip in the slots, push it in until it locks. You can carry it scout style on an 1.5 inch belt, 1 5/8 inches. Again, to take it off, you just squeeze these, pull that out, it comes off. And if you really want to go minimalist, you got all kinds of lashing points here. You can strap it to whatever you want to strap it to your to whatever gear. So, and it's secure enough to where it'll hold it upside down. But that's enough of the stump. Let's do some knife stuff. It's been brought to my attention and other people's attention that, you know, we do the same old thing over and over with knife reviews. And in my opinion, the purpose of a knife review is to show you not only the features of a knife, but at least I try to demonstrate how well it performs certain tasks. And yep, they're pretty much the same task over and over and over, but typically those are the tasks that you want to make sure your knife's going to perform. So I mean, we could do crazy stabbing and bending and break testing, abuse testing, all that, and if that's your thing, there's people that do that. That's not what I do. I mean, my goal is to show you how well a knife or any other piece of gear I review is going to perform under actual use. You know, I try to take it to harder use, so hopefully the limits of what you might actually expect to use it at. But you can tear anything up, and I don't know that it does anybody any good to see how much it takes to break something. Maybe it does, but that's not what I want to do. I don't want to tear everything. I don't want to be the tear up guy. So I'd rather be the how does it work guy. So, man, this smoke is tearing me up, but I don't know which is worse, smoke or mosquitoes, but I'll take the smoke. So anyway, let me readjust this thing. I want to touch briefly on that because, yeah, this is going to be a lot of the same stuff you may have seen, but hopefully we'll see how well this knife does some of that same stuff. So rambling, you see a lot of that rambling. You'll get a lot of that too. Let's readjust things. Okay, first thing I want to do is some batoning. I like to do the batoning first because that puts stress on the blade, and if it's going to mess the edge up, we'll see how well it does. Now, so I'm going to take a pretty good sized piece of wood here, about this big. I don't know, it's maybe 2.5, 3 inches, and go ahead and chop through it, baton through it, whatever you want to say. And because this is not really a chopper, we'll do a little bit of chopping right now just to see though, because you know it might be called into action to cut something bigger. So now you notice I'm holding it pretty much on the very end here. It's got just enough of a little ridge there, enough of a little. All right, so would you agree with me that that is pretty stinking hard? So we'll go ahead and that's pretty good size to baton. We'll just go ahead and baton it because I know you may not have to baton a knife, but you might want to. All right, so not a lot, not very hard to do, not difficult rather. The wood's hard, but the task was not very difficult. Because that wasn't very difficult. I'm gonna set these aside just for a minute, and we're gonna do a little batoning now of maybe something that's a little bit harder. So we'll just cross grain baton here, and try to cut through this. See, the cut kind of wants to wedge out, but it has nowhere to wedge to. So let's turn it over. Find somewhere where it's bearing down on a solid piece of wood here. Okay, well, I wasn't going to try to chew around it, beaver chew it, but it looks like I'm going to have to, just because that's the physics involved in it. And this is pretty hard wood. Let's see if it'll break. Yeah, it'll break. Okay, so I'd say that's a pretty good licking, and it kept on ticking. So back to these. We did some batoning, we did some chopping. I'm going to try a little feathering. Again, I don't really know what kind of wood this is. It's not my area of expertise, but we're going to see how well this thing, whatever it is, how well it feathers. And I can tell you that I think that Aaron at Gideons Tactical has reprofiled this edge. He said he did some work on it, so it's not the original factory edge. I, on the other hand, have done nothing to it since I got it. And I'm not going to plan on sharpening it. I'm going to send it to the next guy as is, and they can determine if they want to, how they want to handle it. If they want to continue to test the edge retention, or if they just want to play with it themselves. That's fine either way. So it's got some pretty big curls here. My technique leaves something to be desired, but the knife itself is doing great. I know a lot of people are really glad to see this come out in a fine edge version, because a lot of folks just really don't like serrations. I can take them or leave them. I do understand for some tasks they're not the best choice. Next, I have a piece of the old fat wood. Let's see how well the back of this thing. It's got a pretty sharp spine, I believe. Let's see how well it scrapes. Not bad. Okay, so we scraped a pretty good bit of fat wood, a little pile of fat wood shaving here. If you watch my channel very much, you know that fat wood's one of my very favorite things in the world. So let's see what happens with the old striker. Seems to be pretty good. All right. Okay, so there you go. That's the Gerber Strongarm. And see, we did batoning, we did some chopping, we did some carving, we started a fire with it. I can tell you that there's another test that I usually do on knives, but since, even though this is, by the way, a full tang knife, since I have to pass this on to other people, you know, there's at least what, 9 or 10 other, 11, 8 or 9 other people, whatever it is, to that I got to get this. You know, I just don't know that if my normal testing is really a good idea. Okay, it's about to get dark here. I couldn't resist, but I'll have to show you something here. If you can see this, this knife is really beefy. I mean, the tip, even though it's got this kind of little bit of a false relief edge there, this thing is solid and it's thick all the way up, all the way to about right here. This is just a very robust, strong looking knife, strong feeling knife. And I can tell you that in calibrating my facilities, you know, I had a couple of bangers that the knife doesn't seem to be any worse for wear for it. So I say it's one tough knife for sure. Strongarm might be a good name for it, but I'll tell you that I'm looking at this thing really closely now. I don't know if you can see it because it's almost getting dark, but the only really negative I've heard about this knife is possibly the steel. The 420 is not the toughest steel in the world as far as edge retention goes. I can tell you that, I'm sure you can see this. Right. Can you see it? I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's a little bit of a almost a nick. I'm talking with a flashlight in my mouth, sorry. Right? I don't know, you probably can't see that at all. I'm trying to get it against my, well, you can't, but it's just, the blade has got a little bit of a nick in it right here. Nothing significant, but it's definitely, I can feel it. Don't really know what caused that. It could have been the chopping, could have been anything, all the above. But it's very, very slight, but it's definitely got a little nick in it. So anyway, be sure and check out, if you haven't seen the other two videos, be sure and check out both Aaron's Gideon Tactical and Prepared Mind 101, the videos on this knife. Mine's, again, is number 3. Number 4 will be, I'm not sure yet, but I'll put a link to that below as soon as we decide. And make sure you check it out. You can follow this knife all the way through the Gauntlet process. And if you're looking for a really good made in the USA knife, if you like Gerbers, which I do, some folks don't, I do, I gotta say, I think Gerber might have a winner with this one. It's a full tang, 420 HC steel, really a grippy handle, very versatile sheath system, and it's very well balanced. So I hope this has been helpful. Be sure to check out the other videos in the Gauntlet. As always, thanks for watching Survival on Purpose. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for clicking that like button, for sharing it with your friends, for clicking those Amazon links and watching those ads, and just for all your support. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Once again, my name is Brian. You're watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival's not an accident, so be prepared. See you next time.